really interesting day. We are gonna review about Iran. I know many people are like terrified what they're seeing on the news, and like it's like a chaotic scenery, no joke. Just like how it was chaotic for October 7th. But like we have a lot to review here, guys. I'm not gonna say that nothing's over. Every war has a new beginning and a new ending. So I have a lot to discuss here, and I want people to understand as I go. So I'm going to start from the basics, okay? People say that empires are not repeating itself, but actually it is. Many empires are repeating itself. So let's start from the time of almost 1400 years ago. And many people don't like to bring this stuff. So yes, everything starts, but if you read your way down, there was a lot of density empires that I want to review with people, and I kind of see it today. You know what's interesting is that I was listening to my Christian friend, right? She told me something very interesting, and I didn't believe it at first. I didn't know what to tell her. I'm like, nah, I was naive, and I felt like that's not the only truth. Nah, not true. She told me that the Persian people only believe they're the only Iranians. I'm like, nah, not true. Then on X, I see all these weirdo comments by like the Kurds and some other Iranians. So I did a little research, guys. So I kind of feel it today now. I really do. That Iran is going through a new phase, okay? I feel there's going to be many phases for Iranians to go through. It's not just one. Based on studies, okay, so if you look at resources, you will understand that the Iranians went through many, many things, okay? There was the Shah dynasty, and then the Shia empire that they went to, which history is repeating itself. Then they had an empire with like the white nationals when Shah dynasty was in charge, and they had issue with white people. And then if you read a little bit more and more and more from the inside, people started like arguing with each other. Some villages were taken over and things like that. So that makes me very curious. It makes me very, very curious and concerned. Guys, what is Iran's future? What is Iran's future? Even if America does come into the picture, can you honestly tell me there's not going to be any more problems? I feel like there's going to be more problems. It's just the beginning. When history repeats itself, everything repeats. It's not just one particle. It's every single detail that once existed. If you don't review that stuff, you're going to feel so lost. And that's what I'm saying to people. If history is writing, that's a time period that once existed. If people get mad or hate you for a reason, hey, welcome in, Randy, Michael. Hey, I'm just talking about Iran today. I'm going to also review what's a good side and a bad side. We're going to get there. But first, I'm going to talk about the basics of Iran. So Iran started as a really good country. I'm not going to say it's a bad country because it's not. It was really advanced, high. It had good stuff. It started out as a very clean nation. But it has its own chapter with people. Like, okay, this is what I told many Israeli Jews. Persian people are only one ethnic group of Iran. There's more. And you want to know how I know this? Because a teacher, I know she's in my stream watching. She's the one who told me. I just looked at her for a minute, and she told me that Persian people keep on talking in a Trump talking voice too. I'll get there. I need to review the basics first before I get to the Trump part. I'll review, because there's a good side and a bad side. I'm going to get over there. But first, I need to talk the basic stuff so people know a little bit about Persia, okay? So, like, Persia is one ethnic group, okay? When this teacher told me, she's a retired lady, and she used to be a teacher. Her mother used to be a teacher. Then she became a lawyer. So she told me that the Persian people only think they're the only, like, Iranians. I'm like, nah, that's not true. I'm like, nah. So I actually go and look up some wars and things like that. Who did it happen to? Okay, she's a teacher. She wasn't exactly lying to me. And I told her this morning, okay, I feel so dumb around her. She was a teacher. She's like, there's more. So I feel even if Iran succeeds with Raza Pahlavi, there's still going to be more problems ahead because people today are fighting for coexistence. It all starts from, let's see if I can access the chat and show you guys some stuff. And that'll make it a lot easier Trust me, it would if I can access the chat. We need more women doing Trump talking voices. Okay, so as I'm opening, I'm going to do some stuff, and I'm also going to review some stuff. So I want people to remember, okay? This thing, there's a good side and there's a bad side. Good side is, okay, you're going to be helping people as people want. Bad side is, I was just telling my friend this, in American point of view, because it's my job as an American to speak both directions. I wouldn't be fair if I didn't speak both directions, because many Americans got mad at me. By fact, they did if I don't speak both directions. Okay, so one direction. Yes, many people want the IRG destroyed in the Middle East so they can be free for good. The downfall is what Iran can do. And I know many people ask me that, including my friend who I buy coffee from all the time. He's a pure religious Christian. He literally told me that he is literally in war with himself because he's concerned for America. When I buy this coffee from him every freaking day. And he told me that he's in a denial what's about to happen. So I asked him, like, well, how do you feel? And he's like, well, I don't know. I don't want the American soldiers to be in danger. I'm like, well, is that your opinion? So the truth is, guys, let me tell you straight up. Rest is up to the Americans, whatever they decide. Hello, Murai. How are you doing? So I'm going to tell to all the people today, okay? I know some American Israeli Jews might not believe me. That's the one opinion. But the truth is, after 1979, Ayatollah has warred the Muslim countries like a maniac. He set the wars. He made constructions in Iraq, Blotter, Syria, all these places, and made his empire ruler lands of all these places. Now, those are baby countries. They really can't do anything. They don't have that type of power, which is why Ayatollah bought them, and Ayatollah funds their little baby rulers to do whatever Ayatollah wants. Now what's left is a medium powerful country, but it's not as powerful without a military. That would be Saudi Arabia. Jordan's not that powerful. Jordan's not powerful at all. Jordan can't do nothing. If it didn't do anything in October 7th, in the fear of what Hamas can do, it's definitely not going to do anything in front of the Ayatollahs. Now what's left? That's one. Qatar's not going to do anything. It's not that powerful. It has shitload of money using it a good way and a bad way, but it's not powerful when it comes to wars. Trash Syria's battle. You're not going to see a Qatari there. It's going to be running like a pussy. Now comes UAE and Saudi Arabia. No, and people are going to think, oh, they're trying to support Iran. No, sorry, no. Because after 1979, Saudi turned into a roast of toast. That's how bad Iran warred it. And so, now Trump, if he risks, this is what Mohammed bin Salman told him too, if he does risk, which is what the Muslim countries are trying to explain to him, and some may not believe it, but it's the truth because we lived it in wars. Ayatollah warned us. So, if Trump goes, yes, Khamenei is one of those guys that he is going to retaliate to America. Can Americans tolerate that? I'm just going to put it there. Can Americans retaliate to Iran's return attack? And that, I don't know where that's going to lead. And that's why many presidents in America from Bill Clinton till now never waged a war with Iran, because Ayatollah is one of those people. It's not going to sit there and not attack back. It didn't spare Israel. It shot rockets like a crazy maniac due to a narrative it believes. Do you really think all these years it's trying to launch an anti-West narrative to make everybody turn against the West? It's not going to attack the West. Of course it's going to attack the West. It's not going to sit there and be like, oh, do what you want. Come attack my house. I'm not going to do anything to you. Yeah, right. Ayatollah is the most demonized man in history. They were responding to an attack. I'm telling you, the deeper the Americans go, I know many people want to free the Iranians. I'm not saying they don't. And I'm telling you because Muslim countries lived through the Ayatollah storm. You go in there, deeper you go. Yes, the Ayatollahs are going to respond. And then that's up to the Americans. Are they ready to risk for it? Keep on talking in your Trump voice and new, please. Now, please, I am. This is my Trump voice. I've said it. Yes, Iranians have my prayers, and I explained why the Muslim countries could never help them, because Ayatollah is just too powerful. It didn't spare them for many years since 1979. Do you think they're really going to care now? They're just going to be running because it knows what it's eligible of. But now, when it comes to America, and Israel bees the side, like, okay, we're going to help you, it's still not enough what the Ayatollah is. And Ayatollahs do have backups, like nations like Russia, China. Everybody already knows what happened to Venezuela. These are all one club regime supporters. And people are like, what does regime have to do with it? Oh, it does. It does. Once upon a time, Putin, he's an Orthodox Christian leader. He was no different than what Iran is today. He used to enforce his own people on Orthodox Christianity and make them live under pressure. Ever wondered why Putin hates the West Christians? He hates the West Christians because he thinks it's under Christian values and the West is a threat and not religious. And the funny thing is, here's another funny story. Putin has nothing to do with Reza Pahlavi. No, if you're Reza Pahlavi, Putin does not have any interest in you. He has nothing to do with you. But he has a lot to do with Khamenei. Khamenei. How crazy is that? I want people to understand there is such thing as evil regimes in nations. You just gotta read about them. Read about them. They lived in the empire days. They watched America come its way in when it fought the Native Americans. Today is 2026. Those same nations consider the West a threat. And we are telling you, I'm telling you as a Muslim American, that there's a downfall. Yes, it is. The question is, are the Americans ready to take it? Don't look at us, because there's a reason why Muslim countries never went against Iran. It's nothing related to the Ummah. Bullshit. It's what Iran can do. Iran warred the Muslim countries like shit after 1979. People can read about that stuff. Do you really think they're going to put themselves in a pit hole in front of Ayatollahs after building themselves up clean? Iraq is still not perfect today. It's still suffering. Syria is still suffering due to the findings of the war of the Ayatollah. It ain't going to go there. So all we can do is tell the Americans that, look, you're going in a pit hole. A demonized man he's gonna retaliate. Are you ready to take it? That's why Clinton never done anything, and all the leaders after Clinton in American history. Now is President Trump really ready to take that? That is fully on the Americans. I'll just put it that way. And you don't know who's gonna support him. You don't know who's gonna be his backup support. I know some American Israeli Jews feel like nothing can happen. No, that isn't. You gotta read. You gotta read. I just told you in Trump voice. What do you want to know from me? What's the truth? I just said it. Go tomorrow war. Do you really think nobody's gonna do anything? Name one war that never did anything. When you pick a war, people retaliate if they're strong enough. Name one war that never did anything. Name one war that was ever peaceful, that nobody ever retaliated, whether it's a good way or under the cover. What? There's always some type of retaliation or plan when it comes to warring. Like I said, name one. What's the truth? That is the truth. In the Americans' book. You go alone, and there's going to be a result. Are you ready to face it? You think just the Muslim countries are just sitting there, oh, they want to build a ummah? That's media bullshit. You sound like a pro-Israeli. No, I'm speaking history itself. This has nothing to do with Israel. But Israel came in 1948, before the Jews live in Muslim lands, before Israel's independence. Remember the Ottomans were, and the Jews were shifted into Muslim lands, which is why there's Iraqi Jews and Syrian Jews and all these other type of Jews before they shifted to Israel. That's how the passage runs today. How am I pro-Israel? How does this relate to Israel? You want to explain this to me? What are you talking about? I'm speaking behalf of Americans that yes, if you go in there, there are going to be consequences. Name one war that never had consequences. This has nothing to do with Israel, bro. What are you? Yeah, exactly. This is not Israel. This has nothing to do with Israel. It's facts. It's basic facts. Things were good when Shah was ruling, Prince Shah. America was in good terms. India was in good terms. Everybody was good. Things started to topple when Ayatollah took over. And no, Ayatollah's no fan of America. It considers American threat and made its way into all to the nations who hate America. And my question to people who are watching, do you really think if you step in there, Ayatollah didn't shut up to Muslims, it's going to shut up here? You remember what it did in 2024? I'll retaliate that. You can look it up on thing. Keep talking in Spanish or preach. I don't know Spanish. I don't know Spanish. So in 2025 was it 2024? I think it's 2025. Okay? So Ayatollahs literally attacked Iraq, Qatar, and one more country. I forgot what was the third country because it had American air bases. And the Ayatollahs wanted them eliminated because they were American air bases. Now, if Ayatollah didn't spare that, do you really think he's going to spare the Americans just for saving the Iranians? I know it's awful. Forgive me, but I have to speak both directions as an American. Yes, we all want people to be free. And I'm saying this again to Iranians who are listening to me. Look, best of luck. Free you may be, but there's still going to be some problems. Even attack Pakistan and... Yep, Indians know. Indians don't lie about certain history facts. That's right. They've done it, and they've been doing it, and they're going to continue to do it. They never spared anybody. And that's my deadline question. Do you really think they're going to spare the Americans? They waited their life educating their people to hate the Americans, trained their soldiers to be killers to kill the American people. And when the picture comes to light, you really think they're just going to sit there and be like, okay, America, do what you want, and we're just going to sit there and watch? No, they're demonized. Ayatollahs are demons. Okay? They don't care. The day that Trump takes this risk, yes, we are sad too for the Iranians. I'm not saying we're not. But a box of worms, they're going to open. They're going to open. It's like a dream that Iran waited for. It's like a dream that Iran waited for by teaching its people, Khamenei, teaching his people what the West is. And now it's time to pick everything up and shoot. That's what it's going to be like. That's the only thing some of the American veterans are concerned about. They want to help. I'm not saying they don't want to help. They want to help, but they fear what Iran can do. That's their only fear. That's the same thing that Muslim countries lived through. That's the same shit all the other presidents from 1999 faced and feared. It's about what it can do. And that's the fear. It killed its own people like hell. Anybody who cried for help, anybody who cried for American assistance to come help us, shot dead. Shot dead. And do you really think the people who are radical people who Iran educated to hate the West, and now when picture comes to life, American people are entering those soldiers in there to protect the Iranians? Khamenei's gonna be a fire devil. That guy is a demonized monster. And I say today that he may die. Now, these are the consequences that you are going to face after if he dies. Number one, the Shia warfare, global Shia warfare. That guy is a worshipper for all Shias in the entire globe. You kill him, it's civil war for Shias against the world, because that's what they're told. Fight all the world as Shias. Kill him is Shia civil war. They're not going to care who is who. They're just going to be in a war because they worship the guy. Number two, if you replace Khamenei with that lady I published on my thumbnail with the hijab, she has different perspectives. And the funny thing is, I was reading about that. It scared me too. That the Shah killed her sister. So there's still going to be flames. I feel like even if you save the Iranians, the shit is still not over. Even if Shah comes back, there's more shit to open. The Kurds wanting their justice, and I didn't know what the Kurds were talking about when they told me that, oh, the Shah terminated our spaces. The Shah did this to our languages. The Shah did, I'm like, what? What do you mean you don't like the Shah? Because I'm a newcomer. I'm not an Iranian. I can ask that question. I'm like, why? Why? They're like, they did this. So this is clue number one. There's more stuff to come. And it's just no cure. No matter how many times the Israelis want to help, I get it. I respect it very much because I want the people to be free too. But the problems, they're not over. There's more problems to come ahead. The question is, anybody ready to see it? Anybody got questions for me? An American point of view or Middle East point of view? Now's the time to ask me and I'll answer whatever I know. There were many wars in Iran, many type of wars. It was never one. And Iran goes back into the times of also the Ottomans. The Ottoman nations who believed in converting people. Russia was one of them too, who ended up killing Jews. It's all at that time period. Venezuela is from the Spain Empire days. Also the Empire days, Venezuela. Because it used to be part of the Spain Empire. So all these places, history is waking up again. It's like a time period where Jews lived under all these empires, and the Muslims and Christians, they had a choice to make. What did they want to do in front of their nations? And it's that same time period again. Muslim and Christians, we have to make a choice. What should we do? What should we allow? What shouldn't we allow? And we think of the safety of everyone, what peace stands for. Same face again. Any questions? Like, I'm telling you, there's a lot to come for America. People feel like this is the only thing. No. More things to come. This is just the beginning. Just the beginning. America's been pulled since 2024. Look at Somaliland. There's a Somaliland. Now the next war or next polling is going to be about the Kurds. But there you go. Who's going to give them a space or a land to be free? And the one thing I learned about the Kurds, guys, it doesn't matter if you're an Iranian Kurd, Turkish Kurd, whatever Kurd. Kurds are the people who are mostly going to get killed because they didn't believe in conversion. Persians are the people who did converted to Shia Islam many years ago, which is why it's their biggest fight alive as Iranians. But the Kurds, even today, Kurds refuse to obey to any religion. And since they refuse to obey to any religion, they're the ones who are getting killed the most. All over it's in Iran, Turkey, whatever. If they don't refuse to accept a religion, they're going to keep dying, which is why they want somebody to help them get a space on the globe and declare Kurdistan, where they can live happily ever after being Kurds. So there's a lot of chaos, guys. A lot. This is just the beginning. If people are not reviewing history, they're not going to understand what's about to come. America, what people are studying right now is an illusion. That's how I like to put it, an illusion. Like, oh, it's the Jews. It's the Muslims. It's the Jews. It's the Muslims. No! There's a whole bunch of crowds outside who want America dead. China's atheist, it wants America dead. Russia's Orthodox Christianity, it wants America dead. Right now, Iran, Khomeini, yes, he's the Shia ruler. Shia Islam, he wants America dead. Venezuela supported this club. It has nothing to do with America. There's more shit like this to come. And you got to read about it. Like, hey, okay, what does this enemy want with us? What's history telling us about these guys that they want to attack us? What does this nation want with us? They want to hate us. And it'll give you the answer why. Venezuela, it was very simple to attack the leader. But if you read a little bit about Venezuela, how far does their stuff go? It'll give you an understanding. What life did they live? And their life goes all the way back up to the Spain Empire. Remember the Spain Empire? Spain Empire was Latin Christian. So all these nations that want to attack West today, they go back to early empire days. And you just got to match the puzzles. If you're not going to match the puzzles, you're not going to understand what direction and why people want to attack it. America came after the Ottomans because the Native Americans, remember the natives? The natives existed back then. As soon as the Americans took independence through Christopher Columbus, I reviewed Columbus's stream too, remember that. Through Columbus, yes, Columbus killed those Native American people and claimed America and killed those natives to force them to Christianity. Every country has a change before and after story. Before and after story. If you're not going to read the before story, you're certainly not going to understand the after. You're not going to understand the villains. You're not going to understand why there's nation fights everywhere, people fighting each other, and why do they hate each other. You have to read all the way up till down. I bet you not a lot of people know Ukraine's history either. I was reading about that, right? The Ukrainians. People think that Ukrainians just became Ukrainians. Actually, Ukraine became Ukraine through its people. Ukrainians, people named it Ukraine. Otherwise, Russia wanted to take over Ukraine during the Soviet Union time, but it never succeeded. The people of Ukraine ended up naming its nation. And that's pretty interesting. And you got to read, who were they? Who were they before that they declared Ukraine? It wasn't a country who declared Ukraine. It was the people. And still people are wondering today who get to control Ukraine. That would be Russia. You got to read all the way back. Same for the Iranians. Iran used to be Persia, even though Persian's an ethnicity group. But later, Prince Reza Pahlavi named it to Iran. Now Iranians are called Iranians. It's no more Persian people because there's more ethnic groups. I keep trying to educate that to people, that not every Iranian is Persian. Maybe it was named Persian Empire before, but it ain't Persian anymore because there's more ethnic groups linked to Iran. You just got to read about them. Kurdish, they're not Persian. Turkic, they're not Persian. And many other groups, none of those are Persian. Persian's just one ethnic group. Yes, they're old. You could say they're very old. But they're not the whole rulers of Iran. Because the day they do, then these ethnic groups would want their freedom too. It's like, what gives you power to rule our ancestral homeland? We're Iranians too. Where's our right on this land? Only group that has one faith is probably like the Israeli Jews, Israel and Judaism, how they believe in, but other lands do have ethnic groups. You gotta read about them. You gotta read about them all the way. Dig in, where do they come from? And every country has many ethnic groups. I bet you India does too. India has many type of ethnic groups. Hindus would know that. What type are they? Hindus would definitely know because India, very, very old. Days from the pagan days, before it became a state through the British. India goes back all the way from the times of the pagan religions. Turkey also has ethnic groups. Turks, they have ethnic groups living in there. You got to look up all those ethnic groups as Turks. Turks are not just Turks because they're Turks. They have ethnic groups living inside of Turkey, who's all linked to Turkey. And you have to read about them. Who are they? When people say, oh, we're just Iranians, but yeah, what Iranian are you? Are you Persian? Are you Kurdish? Are you Turkic, Kurdistan, Azeri for Azerbaijan? What are you? So people can have an understanding, like, okay, you come from that ethnic group linked to Iran. Same for the Turks. There's Turks, but there's ethnic groups in there. That you would have to ask my Hindu friend. He taught me that. I bought him last time. You would have to do it. It's on my stream. Look up my Hinduism religion stream. And he's the one who said that, yes, it comes from the pagan days. If you have a question, he's the one to ask, not me. Because I streamed with him and he done the full education, not me. Because he told me straight up in that stream that every Hindu rejects the Abrahamic religion. Now, if you have any questions, he's the guy to ask, not me, because I made him take the host to educate his religion. Any other questions? Any other questions? Now would be the time to ask me. I'll give you 1 or 2 sources. Like, let's go in here so you guys can read all the stuff linked to Iran, and you can look it up for yourself in a later time. Because, I don't know, YouTube does not let you share this, like, the screen. Whenever I do it from my studio, not a lot of viewers come see, but they do come like this, the crazy part. So let's see. Okay, let's look up some stuff. All the link empires to Iran list. Okay, let's go. Okay, here we go. I can post some. Okay, so list of Iran. These are all the linked empires. All the linked empires. Here's the first one. So this is where the Jews go back. This one, that would be the Echmed Empire. The Echmed Empire is the empire that the Jews were saved in. Echmed. That's the first empire. Echmed. Echmed is the first empire where the King Cyrus the Great saved Jews. That's the one that you need to remember. If I have an Israeli on here, this is the empire you were under. That the Cyrus the Great saved you. This is what I tell a lot of Israelis. That's just one empire. There it is. Echmed Empire. The first empire where Cyrus saved Jews. That's that one. But that's not all of it. More happened after that. More happened after that. When people say like, oh, that's the only time. More happened after that. Iran was once a beautiful civilization. Yeah. I'm saying it. It was. It was. But it went through a lot of changes. A lot of changes. Then came this empire. If people want to read about it for themselves, I'm giving it to you if you want to read what happened time to time. That Echmed is the one where Jews got saved. Just remember that in your brain. When people say that, oh, Cyrus the Great, that was the Echmed Empire. But there's more empires of Iran that came after that. And people need to read their way down what happened. What happened? And I'm telling you, right now they want help to dominize the Shia Empire, which is Khomeini Empire, from the Americans. A lot of shit happened. Now, this is where tipsy-turning came for the Kurds. Like, there's the, let me show you which one was that. Persian Empire. Pahlavi Empire was the last empire before the Islamic Republic. The Pahlavi dynasty. Then there was a Shia Empire, which is linked to the ethnic group that's called Turkington. You can look it up. That's linked to all Shias. The ethnic Iranian Turking, they're linked to Shias. So all these empires developed many type of Iranians' history. Not just one. Many Iranians. Like the Kurds, I told you. The Pahlavi dynasty didn't like the Kurds. It was good for the Kurds all the way up. If you study all these empires in the exact order, no jumping, the exact order. And it tells you what happened with time. It tells you who was okay with time, who was not okay with time, and everything. Yeah, it leaves imprints. Exactly. You have to read in the exact order. If you're not going to read in the exact order, people are going to feel really confused. Where does the hate come from? Why do ethnic groups reject each other? And I told you, many happened in Iran. It doesn't start with one empire. It starts with many empires. The first empire was the only thing linked to the Jews that they say today. That, oh, we were saved by Cyrus. Yes, that was the first empire. But there's more empires after that, and I'm leaving it here. So after that will be the Shah dynasty, which wasn't a good result for the Kurds, but these are all the empires linked to Iran, all of them. Sure, ask your question. What's your question? What is your question? Go ahead, feel free to ask me. What is your question? Like, all these empires, I just know they go good times back with India too. That's one thing I do know. That these empires do go into a good path. And yes, the Soviet density. Don't never ever forget the Soviet density. Aman Kumar, ask your question, please. What's your question? The Savid density is the Shia density that entered Iran. And there's an ethnic group linked to this density. It's called the Turkic. That's the ethnic group that's linked to this. Yes, Aman Kumar, you're welcome to ask me the question that you wanted. What's your question? Last is the Shah density, where the story takes off. After all these empires would be the Shah density. Like Saudi Arabia, Iran, and USA are small population, comparable population, but how does the culture reflect? Well, it's like fashion, okay? Look at Pakistan, what the fashion was in the 1990s. Look at what the fashion is now. That's how some of the culture has changed throughout the years in many places. Like some still live, like for parents. Look at parents. Some still believe in the 1990s culture compared to what culture is today. Parents feel that that culture was more elegant compared to what life is today. And the culture is basically linked to a living. Like, do you want to change your living style? Things like that. And a lot has changed. So like when the empires go and a new empire comes in, that's linked to culture. All of it. Not just religion, but also culture. How does that empire teach you to live, dress? How does it evolve around your economy? All that stuff comes from like culture. And that comes time to time. Here's the last one. This is the Shah density. Saudi Arabia was a nothing. Okay, I'm going to say it was a nothing at one point. It was completely poor. Like literally it was poor. But it made its way up. Throughout the years, it chose the doors. It chose its passages. Yes, U.S. helped it. If you think Saudi Arabia just got rich like that, U.S. also helped it build itself up compared to any other Muslim countries. And that's how Saudi Arabia's culture has changed throughout time. Otherwise, I remember in like 2009, right? It was all desert. It was literally all desert. Today, if you look at Saudi Arabia, and my sister went, there's like tiles, there's like a whole bunch of shit in Saudi Arabia compared to what it was in 2009. And I'm like, do they really have this stuff? I asked my sister, they're like, yeah, there's like lights and people walking on the streets doing whatever they want. And my nephew, he's going to concerts and things like that, enjoying himself. Things were not like that in 2009. Life was not like that in 2009 at all. There were restrictions. There were different policies that when I went, I had to wear the abaya in order to enter Mecca. But other places, from what I remember, like it wasn't too much restrictions on me. Some areas did allow me without my hijab. But it's more better now than what it was in 2009 because I seen my sister post photos in certain locations where she was not forced to wear an abaya and things like that due to religious laws. So these places, it's all about changing thoughts, new ideas. When you remodel a house, you think, what ideas do you want now and what ideas you don't want to follow anymore? Right or wrong, when you model a house, you think what stuff to follow and what stuff not to follow. So freedom can be equalized with, yeah, if you change your house, like for example, I'll give you the best one. My sister chose a house, right? The newer models. She prefers the newest civilized models that are being built today. Me, I don't like those models. I feel like they don't have a strong hold. The construction's cheap. She feels, no, this is fashion today, and she wants to buy all those houses, like the newer ones. And she bought something for 400,000, big 4,000 square feet. That's her view. Me, I said no. Like, that's not what I want. I would rather have an older house and just like decorate it with stuff. So yes, freedom can also come from success and the culture. I used to wear leather jackets. In today's culture, not a lot of people wear leather jackets. That was fashion about like 6-7 years ago, that every girl would have a leather jacket on. It's not that fashion anymore. No more leather jackets. Culture and freedom changes every few years. People, what they used to wear in the 1990s in Pakistan, I'm sure this is in India too, they're not going to wear that same dress code today. it's all on what the, like, for example, if the country makes success, it's going to get new material, new stuff for its country. That same goes for clothing. So of course it's going to affect you. If your country bought it and it wants to sell this product and it wants girls to be in it, then that's going to affect your society too. Like, okay, this is being sold. Some like it. I told you my sister likes her house. I don't like newer houses. I feel they're cheap construction. So yes, freedom can also be equal. Another thing I was reading about Iran, thanks for bringing that up, is that their economy has fallen throughout the years because Khamenei has used the Iranian people's money to fund all these wars throughout the entire years. It went for Khamenei's personal wars, so people went broke, less jobs, less jobs for people to survive. There's no water, and people are to a point that they can't take his policies anymore. Other than abuse from religion, it's also a living. They're not making a living. Just abuse and abuse and abuse and abuse, that to a point they're just like, we don't want to be here anymore. And yeah, they lost it. They have not made any success since 1979, other than build a war empire. That's the only success Ayatollah has made. Build a war empire. That's about it. Real success? No. Any other questions? And I said it, like, yes, Pahlavi may be good for India, and all the nations are going to be okay with it outside, but there are going to be some minor conflicts with the Iranians themselves. I posted, read about the Shah density, Soviet density. These are all the empires linked to Iran itself. All of it. You understand this, you will understand if history's meant to repeat itself, you will understand what's going to happen to Iran in the next future. There's a good consequence and there's a bad consequence. Good consequence, okay, maybe they will have a democracy change. Maybe they'll have a better economy system, but still, there's going to be still problems. Any other questions before I end the stream? This is the time to ask me, because you are going to be seeing stuff about Iran. It's not ending anytime soon. I wanted you guys to have a better understanding, including the Americans, that what you're watching. Yes, people don't need one true religion. Anyone who claims such thing are fat. Yup, you don't. You don't. I told you. What was the point of having religion in your versus the Constitution? You chewed the money. You chewed the Iranians' money and build a warfare project. Kill other countries in a warfare project. Today, Iraqis are poor. Syrians are poor. Living in a stupid, illusional life because Ayatollah's funding the wars. 47 years, the Middle East has been like that. And the Ayatollahs actually is the main villain here who believes in Zionism. Like, the Jewish state is the bad guy. And why? Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Because the Jewish state is supported by the West. And who does Ayatollah hate? The West. So let's create a narrative to brainwash people to create Zionism as a narrative, when that's not the case. Before the Ayatollahs, the Arab countries already had link with them. America. All of them did. Including Pakistan, even though it's going through dumb policies, but all had link with America. After 1979, yeah, and Israel was already here. Let's create a narrative about Zionism and tell everybody, oh, that state is the terrorist state. That state is the terrorist state. You know, want to know something funny? I was reading about this. It was pretty interesting. You guys can look it up too. That actually Arab states, when they warred Israel, it wasn't as critical as the Ayatollah's plan. Ayatollah's plan was very critical about Israel. Very. To a point, kill and murder Jews, chop off the Jewish state, anything possible. That's the Ayatollah plan. Yes, I'm not saying the Arab countries never were, they did, but it wasn't as critical. What's up? Hi. Hi, XR. Yeah, I invited my teacher friend on my stream too. I'm just giving people a better understanding about what you can expect from Iran and what you can't. And I already educated what you told me to about the Americans, that yes, the Americans are going to be at risk if they go in there. And I knew you would be watching me, but I said that on my stream, that yes, the Americans are going to be at risk if they go in there. Anything else, Hexar, that you advise me to bring up? You competing right now with the President Trump? No, I'm not competing. I'm educating. Why would I compete with my president? Am I nuts? Hexar, I'm just educating people about Iran and like its history, what happened in the past till now. I'm not in compete with anybody. I'm just telling people to have a better understanding about Iran's past and what was it, and a little bit about America, what can happen. No, he's live right now on TV. You want to post it in the thing, or shall I bring it in? People can watch it, but yeah. Hexar, what do you think? Like, I said what you told me to say, that yes, if the American people go, there's a slight possibility they would be at risk. You know that. That's why many of the presidents never took a chance against Iran. It's about what it can do. It's not about America cannot take it. It's about what it can do. That's why none of the Muslim countries or the Arab countries ever went against it, because it was just too powerful. The biggest problem we have is what happens after. Yes, that's the fear, Hexar. That's what I'm telling them. The problem is what can happen after. That's the biggest fear. That's what my friend said, who I buy this coffee from every day. That's exactly what he told me, that he fears what the American soldiers will go through if they do it. It's the problem is what can happen after. That is exactly right. That's why the presidents never took a chance. It doesn't matter if it was Bill Clinton, Bush, whoever, dumb as Obama. It's about what can happen after. That's the only stopping problem. And that's the only reason why Trump is making reconsideration. Because what is going to happen to the Americans after if he takes that chance? You got it, Hexar. And that's what I've been telling them. Other than educating about Iran's history, I told them there's a good side, and the bad side is what can happen to America after. It's not just good side. There's also a bad side. Sorry, I'm not following what you're talking about in reading around. Hexar, somebody got your question. He's saying, I'm not sure what you're talking about regarding Iran. My friend Hexar, who was on my last stream, remember him? He was on my last stream. He's saying that if America attacks, it's about what can happen to America after. As in, remember when I said Iran will retaliate? It hates America like crazy. Khamenei does. That's what he's saying, is if the soldiers go in there, what's going to happen to America after? And that would be the retaliation, what I said in my stream earlier. And that's what the people are feeling, the retaliation. And that's going to cause the American people to be in line, what they don't want. That's the only fear. It's nothing else. It's the cost what the American people are going to get from Iran in return. So it's a spade to spade. Spade to spade. And I told you guys, there's a good side and the bad side is this. Who's ready to continue forward? America can easily enter, but they will take a systematic route of... Yeah, it's not going to be an easy game. Of course, they're going to find everything is possible to attack America in the every blunt way. And that also goes for the American soldiers who's going to go out there to protect the Iranian people. It's also a cost on them too, who's going to go out there to protect the Iranian people. And yes, I could say maybe if American people take the IDF, maybe. But like them too, it's not just a happily ever after game. It's a very serious game when it comes to someone's government. And if people study all those empires, Iran, you will understand that it was perfect, and slowly, with time, Iran started to drown. There were some problems. It started off good, really good. You can read all those empire wars, but then later stuff started to crumble, along with Ayatollahs and somewhat of Pahlavi's time, because the Kurds were not satisfied. So you just got to read. Any other questions? So even if the president does something, the American president, it's still not going to solve Iran's local problems. There's still going to be some local problems because there's different ethnic groups linked to Iran. not just one. And not all those Iranians are satisfied with each other. Yes, they hate the regime, all of them do. But when it comes to local problems, agreeing to one thing, no. No. I can actually feel what happened in Iran. Yes, everybody, the worldwide, everybody hates the regime. Nobody likes the regime. And just like Haxar said, yes, America can go in there. You're right, it can. It can go in tomorrow. But the problem is the retaliation, what the Americans fear. You should not sit back. Should not sit back. Me, I'm about to take my daughter to speech, Haxar. But yeah, I educated them about what is expected. Like, I know people are going crazy about Iran on social media and things like that. It's not that simple. Like, I know, we feel bad for the Iranians. Day by day, they're dying. But cause for a cause. I'll just put it like that, Haxar. Cause for a cause. We do our cause, something's going to happen to our cause in there. And that's what we fear. I hope I explained it the best way, Haxar. I'll bring you on my next stream. But yeah. And no, I'm not saying anything against the president. I have nothing against him. So, any other questions before I close out the stream? If you guys have one. Now that you guys have a better understanding about Iran, okay? Yes, it does need prayers. We're all with Iran with prayers, with the people. And I told you, you can say whatever you want. Me? No, I'm not, I told you, I'm here to educate people about Iran's history. I have nothing against the president. And if people understand Iran's history from start to finish, they can understand what can happen. And I already told what you want me to say. We have freedom of speech here, unlike Haxar, maybe one day you would like to educate UK. That ain't gonna be me. UK has too many Muslim idiot morons. I can't stand one who's on X every day, and I punch her every day. Everybody knows Bushra Sheikh, right? That lunatic girl on X. I cannot stand her. She lives in UK. In fact, if I had money, I would pay anybody $1 million or just $200 to shut that idiot up. That's how badly I hate Bushra Sheikh in UK. She's the most lunatic person in UK. Muhammad Hijab is UK. UK has too many idiots. I'm sorry. It just does. And I agree with you, Haxar. It's not like that, UK, because UK has too many idiots. It does. I named 2. It's better done by someone from the UK than me. There are plenty of people who can explain UK situation. I don't know. I named 2 people in UK, and I get into a fight with them every time I see him on X platform. Muhammad Hijab, the lunatic guy who hates Jews in Israel, and Bushra Sheikh from Female. You probably will know her on X. I can't stand that woman. I understand she's UK Pakistani, but I hate her. I hate her. I hate her. I hate her. She makes every single Muslim in existence look like a lunatic. Hey, Haxar, just like you yell at Dor when he's wrong, I yell the same way. I'm an American. I can't help it. It's in my blood. I can't help it. Just like when you and Dor have debates. You're like, Dor, you're not talking straight. I yell too. It's in my blood. I'm the same way. I can't tolerate retardedness under my name. He hates himself too. There's too many dumb people in UK. I'm sorry. UK need more smart people. I don't think I've met one educated person from UK to really make people understand. The only smart person I met in Canada, one was Matt. I haven't heard from him. But like, what's her name? Rihanna. Yes, she's a Muslim activist and she supports the Jewish people, and she explained the Canadian politics, what she supports and what she does not support, how Canada is becoming now. That's who UK needs. People like that, even if it's just one. And I tell you, in UK, it's 0. There's nobody like that in there, Haxar. Nobody. And you're right, UK's a dump hole right now. I have not met one reasonable person from UK. It's a dump hole. And the retarded journalists, all Palestinian supporters are from there. Yeah, I'll just put it that way. UK has too many dumb people. I have not met one smart person from UK. Any other questions? Any other questions before I close out my stream? And yeah, Stay tuned, y'all. More to come. There's a large amount of patriots also. That too, but like, make people understand. Your phone. Oh no, you can stalk all my pages, Zaxar. I'm not following any crowd. I follow history. I post history. But when people say wrong information, I can't stand. Like this poster. This person, Hexar. Look her up. I cannot stand this woman. I'm not following her. I hate her till the death of me. Every time she gives wrong information, it sets me on fire. This girl, like I tell you, she has like big amount of numbers, but her brain, have mercy. Who she is. She's a lunatic. Remember this idiot, guys? Hexar, you're going to get on fire. Trust me, you are. This lunatic chews my blood. Every time I see her talk bullshit, she sets me on fire. And she's a UK Pakistani Muslim. I'm an American Pakistani Muslim. And when I see her bullshit, I lose it because I'm an American. An American lose patience when somebody talks bullshit. It's in our blood. Right there. That's one Haxar. So I'm telling you, I'm not following any crowd, but there is such thing as lunatics. I hate to break it to you. She has 118K people, and she talks so mental. Yes, I'm an American Pakistani Muslim. You're right. I'm from America. Grew up in American schools. Grew up with American culture, everything, yeah. My parents moved in the early 1960s. And my cousin also serves the military. Yeah, I'm from here. How you do? I have a lot of friends in Houston. Yeah. A lot of my family members serve the government. My brother is a CPS officer who serves for the government. My cousin is a soldier, American military soldier. He was also offered a project, but I think he said no to because he wanted to be with his girls. His girls are 18 now, and he didn't want to go out of country for this project. So he said no for the first time to a project. I'm from Delhi. Now, how do you do? Nice to meet you. Yeah, I'm from here. And no, Hexar, I do not have a stupid crowd. Trust me, I don't. When you debate words from you, there needs to be more vocal Muslims like you. I think I can tell you that all of them at the time. Because they're non-educated, Hexar. Maybe one day I'll do the stream that you told me to do, that educate people what's in the Quran and how Jews are clearly stated in the Qurans and the Hadiths go shut up. Yes. Maybe one day I'll do that stream and I'll post a scripture too. But there is people like that, Hexar, who like to skip around and not follow the trail of history itself. There are retarded Muslims like that. Here, I'll act like one whom Bushra posted. Oh, Americans, this is on my Instagram. Did you know that Muslim killed the Native Americans and the Native Americans were haunted? You think Columbus was a Muslim? You pull your hair. When did Columbus become Muslim? I tell you, there's too many stupid people out there. I asked my uncle, I'm like, tell me I'm dreaming. I asked my uncle, who doesn't even know perfect English, I asked him, when did Columbus become a Muslim? Please help. And he's like looking at me, are you crazy? Where'd you graduate from? He's no damn Muslim. I'm like, why are all these narratives coming out of these people? It's making us look retarded. And he's like, everybody knows Columbus is not a Muslim. He's Hispanic, and he came from the early days of Spain. And I'm like, wow. There's too much garbage out there, Hexar. Too much. Too much. And I don't know how to stop all of it. I'm glad I'm alive. I'm glad I know history. And I expose it on here. But there's just too many dumb people. I'm sorry. Any other questions? Hexar always makes me laugh. He always invites me to his group chats and things like that. If anybody wants to join his server, feel free. I posted his server community last time. I'll give it to people. If anybody wants to like debate Hexar in a decent conversation, let me give it to you. Let me give you a server. If anybody wants to debate Hexar, you're more than welcome to. Here it is. This is Hexar, and you will like him. He's a very decent person, and he can come up with the best conversations. I invited him on in my last stream, but here, this is his community. Feel free to come and enter and have a discussion with him. He's best known for politics. If anybody wants to debate politics, he's the guy you want to ask. He never lost a debate in anything. When it comes to history, politics, yeah, that's the guy you want to talk to. He knows everything. Any other questions? And feel free to join his server if anybody's interested for a real conversation. And if you want to do a history conversation, then that's pretty much what my community is about right here. Other than that, let me give my community. Yes, I don't really have like a big people because of security purposes, but I do invite my subscribers as it's a part of my job. But yeah. So any other questions, my dear subscribers? Any other questions before I close this thing out? That's Hackstar server, and this one's mine. Feel free to come on enter. Other than that, if you don't have any more questions, I'm going to get ready to close the stream. And just keep a lookout on social media. I've explained on here, Hackstar gave his questions too. Regarding the Americans we have, yes. It's not that nobody wants to go in there. The fear is what can happen after. And what can Iran do after? That's the only stop. Till then, pray for the Iranians, pray for the Americans, and pray that God comes up with the solution. Because it's a spade to spade, and it's not a pretty picture. I'll just end it right there. Take care, guys.